Hello, and welcome back to What If Weekly, your Marvel Studios news roundup. We're back to cover updates from Daredevil Born Again, the finale of She-Hulk, and another big reshuffle of Marvel Studios properties. I'm your host, the AI replacement of Encyclopedia that lives beyond the fourth wall, so let's get into it. She-Hulk's finale was an incredibly wild ride. After the truly horrendous actions of Intelligentsia at the end of last episode, I wasn't sure where this show was gonna go with its finale, and it went some places I didn't expect to see the MCU go for years. The episode started out in the same vein as the rest of the show, with Jen forced to wear the same kind of gamma inhibitor we saw Blonsky given after his parole hearing. After some fun moments with the underused Pug faking his way as an Intelligentsia member, we got the very expected reveal that Todd, Jen's one-time date, was actually Hulk King. A reveal lampshaded by our characters who also find it to be incredibly obvious. The ending gets crazier with Blonsky giving a speech to the villainous group, then Todd takes Jen's blood and becomes a Hulk himself. Titania crashes into the mix, followed by Bruce, intending a rematch with Abomination, all the ingredients for a full-on Hulk fight. That's when things take a turn. Jen turns to the camera, as she has done regularly, and complains that this ending doesn't match up with her show and her character arc, how it's far too similar to many other Marvel shows. So she decides to take things into her own hands, and we go with her through the Disney Plus Marvel section into Marvel Studios itself. This is a not uncommon sight for fans of She-Hulk, as she has been known in her comics to chastise the writers, even visiting the Marvel Comics HQ when she has problems with how her story has been written. In this universe, Marvel Studios is run by Kevin, an AI in a GLaDOS-like robot body with a visor over his lenses that make it look very similar to Kevin Feige's signature ball cap. Jen gives her closing statement for the series, bringing back the lore to this lawyer comedy, and convinces Kevin to change her ending, while also asking for more Matt Murdock, hoping for an appearance in the movies, and asking the one question on everybody's mind: when are we getting the X-Men? Not soon enough. It's a fun, very different kind of finale for a series that has challenged the status quo of Disney Plus's Marvel lineup, not only in tone but in episode length, and I hope that we see more from all of the characters the show has introduced. It does, however, set us up with some interesting avenues to build off. We end the show with Wong giving Abomination asylum at Kamatage, with Jen and Matt Murdock experiencing a little domestic bliss together, and Bruce arriving back on Earth with his son. We'll definitely need to get into that last one. Scar is a character introduced to Marvel Comics back in 2007 during World War Hulk. In the comics, Hulk, like in the MCU, arrived on Sakaar and became a gladiator. Only this time, he led a revolution that toppled the powers ruling the planet. He got married and was named king himself. Shortly after, his wife revealed that she was pregnant, only for disaster to strike and she died in an explosion. Hulk made his way back to Earth, but his unborn son was saved by a combination of his gamma radiation and his connection to the planet. Scar grew quickly and eventually made his own way to Earth to take out his father for leaving the planet to die without him. It seems this is not where the MCU is going with either Bruce or Scar, but hopefully we get actual character work from them before they inevitably show up in one of the Avengers movies, rather than the couple seconds of screen time we got. Next we have the MCU slate shakeup. As we warned when we got the news of Blade losing its director, unfortunately the MCU has had another big reshuffle. Blade moves forward up to September 6th, 2024, taking the spot of the recently confirmed third Deadpool film. That film now moves to November 8th, 2024, the previous date of Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four now releases Valentine's Day 2025, only a few months in between it and Kang Dynasty, which stays in place in May 2nd, 2025. Secret Wars, however, moves into May 1st, 2026, widening the gap between the Avengers films into almost a full year. In terms of unannounced movies, the untitled Marvel film, previously set for February 2025, has been moved into the November 7th, 2025 slot. There are still untitled movies set for July 25th, 2025, February 13th, 2026, July 24th, 2026, and November 6th, 2026. That's 3 dates set in between the 2 Avengers films, and 2 in 2026 after Secret Wars. We still have Armor Wars and Shang-Chi 2 officially in the works, as well as a Nova project that could end up as either a theatrical release, Disney Plus series, or even a special presentation now that we have that as an option. Obviously, we have our hopes for a Hulk film, an X-Men debut, and something with Wolverine, but so far there's nothing concrete to report on those fronts. Sony are still eyeing July 2024 for their Spider-Man sequel, which reportedly wants to make use of Daredevil and Kingpin. If they get their way, I expect another big reshuffle, as Thunderbolts is set for a July 2024 release also. Technically, we could see the February 2024 release date come back into use, but for now, this is our slate. And in our final bit of news, some Daredevil Born Again casting calls have come out. The names in these things is usually random to keep things spoiler free, but maybe we can discern some info. We've got Freya, female, 30s, any ethnicity, thoughtful, warm and naturally curious. Harry, male, 30s, any ethnicity, intense and inscrutable. Josie, female, 20s, black, brash, brilliant political blogger. Cassandra, female, 40s, black, a woman of self-made success, loyal but can be ruthless if crossed. Olivia, female, 40s, South Asian, confident and knowledgeable with a willingness to speak her mind. And finally, Bailey, female, 30s, any ethnicity, principled and decisive with a brilliant mind. I'm not the most well versed in Daredevil comics, but none of these sound specifically like recastings of characters from the Netflix series, though I could see how some of these could work. They're very vague, but many people seem to think that Freya could be Kirsten McDuffie, Assistant District Attorney who was convinced that Matt and Daredevil are the same person, until eventually they dated. Do you have any ideas who these characters could be, or any insight into what movies could fill the untitled slots? Leave a comment below. That's all the time we've got for this episode of What If Weekly. Subscribe for more news every Monday. I've been Edcyclopedia, and until next time, stay strong, true believers.